Please remain seated. The show will begin in 3, 2...
Like a Hellcat. For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
You wake up groggily to the sound of buzzing mosquitoes and the chirping of crickets. Your nose hit with the foul stench of death and decay. Your head is pounding heavily, and you have a moderate concussion. Feeling a bit dazed after a hard fall from hell into this earthly yet hellish dimension, you went flying through a portal, having followed a certain enchanting female creature that had lately awoken your immense curiosity. You then hear this loud growl and see yellow eyes illuminate through the thick, dark veil of the swamp as they peered out from underneath the murky bayou. It was a large baby gator with a pet collar around its neck, and it slowly inched towards you, eventually reaching the dry land, peering down at you and sniffing you with ravenous intent. It was about to open its jaw, and you shut your eyes, bracing yourself for the possibility you would be this thing's next meal. Then there is this sharp whistle and someone emerges from the fog above you. The figure lands gracefully. She's got long, violet-dyed locks of hair and matching eyes with pale charcoal skin, with pearly white fangs protruding as she had this eerily captivating smile. She has pointed ears and dark, bat-like wings that flap elegantly. The female has on this 1930s-inspired outfit, a black corset buttoned up in thin white lace, and a dreamcatcher necklace dangling from her ravishing bare skin. She also has on a long skirt, the color of midnight shade, and dark leather boots. The woman has many gold rings on her fingers, with various colored gems, her nails a gothic array of crimson, her lips lavender, and she carries a shotgun, having the front end of it raised as she studies you curiously with a tilt of the head. My, a lost lamb, aren't you, darling? The woman croons in a soft, silky voice, as smooth and as sweet as marmalade, with a strong hint of a Cajun accent. This ain't no place for you to be in, sugar pie. You stare at her mesmerized, not sure if you're enraptured or afraid for your soul. The woman chuckles ominously at your reaction, placing her right thumb and index finger on her chin, frankly amused at the fact you were cowering. She then looks to the gator and snaps her fingers firmly, her twisted, sadistic grin still widened. Rufus, they ain't a chew toy. The hybrid creature gently scolds at what is presumably her guard dog of some sort. The gator shuts its mouth and grunts, clearly pouting. The woman clears her throat and points at it, acting like a strict mother that yells at her child for misbehaving. I didn't give you permission to make this, She pauses, looking you over with an arched eyebrow. I'm sorry, who or what are you? You just gulp nervously, trembling like a leaf. Andromeda huffs. Oh, where are my manners? Pardon moi, she chimes, giving a small curtsy. I'm Andromeda Elizabeth Nethervane, radio hostess extraordinaire. Surely you heard of my well-renowned radio show Late Night Bites, haven't you? You nod quickly. Andromeda then clicks her tongue together, leaning down to your height. You seem awfully confused, darling, she says. I take it you never seen me in this form, have you? And not that I would recommend it. Usually those who wander stupidly into my territory end up as an appetizer or main course dinner. Well, luckily for you, sweet pea, I have just eaten. However, I'm quite cross that you're out here on my property, as I don't recall ever sending anybody, even the likes of a sinner such as you, an invitation. I'm not one who typically allows guests to visit my swamp, let alone dine at my riverboat. She then straightens her posture and straps her shotgun behind her back before holding out a hand for you to take. This is your chance to follow me. Believe me, I could leave you out here for the buzzards to find your carcass the next day. You don't hesitate, and she helps you up as you stumble, and she sighs, helping carry you along till you both reach her massive riverboat that is purple with black trims everywhere on its outer frame. Andromeda then opens her screen door and takes you to her sofa, laying you down, so you can rest properly. Comfy? She asks. You nod again. Andromeda's smile fades and she's frowning softly. Now then, how did you get here? She questions impatiently. You still say nothing. Andromeda crosses her arms. Now, darling, you're making this rather difficult, she says. It's very rude of you to not answer me. Unless you were born mute, I suggest you tell me why you're here. Were you stalking me? You reluctantly give a quick nod. Andromeda smirks widely. I don't know whether to be frightened or flattered, darling, she responds nonchalantly. I mean, I'll admit my looks would make even a blind man sob. Hell, any eligible bachelor drop dead at the sight of me. But where's the thrill in that if they don't at least cower and beg first? The best part of the hunt is, in fact, the pathetic whimpers and hearing their symphonic screams. They're also the most delicious, especially when they run fast. You look at her bewildered. Andromeda scoffs. I'm merely an opportunist, sugar pie, she replies. Now then, I bet you're starving. I normally wouldn't offer food to folks, but I'll make an exception just this once. Just don't share what went on. I got an image to maintain. As much as I expect gratification for this hospitable act of generosity, I enjoy my solitude, the comforts of the shadows. How about this? I'll whip up a hot plate, my mama's famous jambalaya and divine venison. You try to protest, but your stomach starts making a fuss. Andromeda brings you a glass of water and an aspirin. She places a cold compress on your head gently. Now, just take the medication and drink that whole glass, she scolds. And keep pressure on your head, please. I want to make sure you don't got any swelling. You then ask her why she would do any of this. Andromeda cackles. Really, darling, she says. Must you doubt my sincerity? I may be a bit batty, but I ain't all that monstrous. Now quit being a baby and relax, will you? I don't bite too hard. Andromeda then puts on a black apron. She whistles for her pet gator Rufus. He'll keep you company while I'm busy cooking, she says. I wouldn't ever let him watch over someone, but you're a special circumstance. Try not to move too much. I will check for other injuries when I'm good and ready. As she then turns to walk into the kitchen, she instructs the gator to sit. If you behave yourself tonight, Rufus, I'll give you extra limbs as a bonus for your dinner tonight, she says, and you give her this mortified look. Oh, darling, don't get excited, she says. Human flesh, I find often, is most unsavory and gives me a bad case of indigestion. I much prefer the tasty morsels down in hell, although you certainly aren't a menu choice. No. Rufus is a natural-born hunter, as gators commonly are aggressively persistent creatures of the swamp. And I'm very selective of my food, mind you. With that, she zaps herself into the kitchen, and clanging noises could be heard. Pots and pans moving about as smoke eventually emits, seeping out of the kitchen. Andromeda casually hums the tune of Brother, Can You Spare a Dime?